Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery out here at the Eastern Traditional Archery Rendezvous in north central Pennsylvania, where we just saw some trick shooting with Chris Hurt, trick shooter Chris Hurt. Chris, how does one get into trick shooting?
Well, myself, I got pretty much inspired from another trick shooter when I was about 6 or 7. His name was Byron Ferguson. He's one of the most well-known trick shooters around right now. That was at another bow shoot down in Baltimore, and I was just so amazed as a little kid watching him and all the different shots that he could do, and I was like, you know what, I can do that. I know I can. So we went home, we practiced, and a lady down the street actually got me into trick shooting. That's where I did my first show for my local senior center. And from there, it kind of blossomed into traveling the whole East Coast doing shows.
And now, how long ago was that you started doing that?
I started trick shooting when I was 6, traditional shooting when I was 2.
Now, for trick shooting, obviously that takes a lot of practice. If you can quantify, like how many you shoot a day or how many in a week, whatever you go by.
Okay. What I do is about 3 or 4 weeks before a show, I will practice for a half hour to 45 minutes outside with whoever's going to be throwing for me, whether it's my father or my girlfriend, or I also have an assistant. What we do is we'll practice, and then my stationary shots I will practice every day for 15-20 minutes by myself. It's kind of my relaxation time, but sometimes frustration time.
15-20 minutes.
Yes, sir.
That's to be able to hit things like a BB.
Yes, sir. The BB was my very first time I did it. It was my very first arrow, and so that was about 2 minutes it took me. There was a joke in my backyard. My buddy was like, "Hey, you can't hit a BB," you know. I was like, I will try it. Yeah. Very first shot, sent it down through the yard, and I said, that's going in the show. That's pretty cool.
So what do you think it is? Do you just have really good hand-eye coordination? Have you just been shooting so much that you just pick it up easy? It seems to me, I don't know, but it seems to me like that would be really difficult.
Well, there is a skill behind it, and the whole objective is the law of gravity. You know, what goes up must come down. Well, when it comes back down, it's got to stop. And that's when you want to time it. You want to time it where it's going to stop, and that's when you want to shoot it, because then it's like shooting a still target. Yeah. Not every time it's going to work out that way, depending on the wind, you know, your thrower, and your target placement, really, because sometimes it's not going to go where you think it's going to go, and you got to move. So that's what you try to shoot for on that. No pun.
How do you decide which things to work into your show? Like which different objects? You shot several different ones here today.
What we look at is something that the crowd would like to see. So like the lifesaver, it's something that shatters. People like things that move, things that are noisy. So the yellow disc, just shoot those. It's a loud pop. Kids are like, oh, that's cool. And then the small things that just becomes a wow factor for people. Yeah. So the smaller you get, the more, oh, that's pretty neat, and then it's something they'll like to talk about at camp the next day or that night. But really, just kind of what we think up, and we try to add new things so the show's not so the same all the time, because then it just kind of get boring.
Chris Hurt, you might see him around your way. If you got any questions, you can check us out at lancasterarchery.com.